What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday, a great week so far, and just a great evening in general. There's two things to talk about in this video. In the first part, we're going to give you a latest update on what's going on with this winter weather potential for the latter part of this coming weekend into Monday. We're going to give you the latest and greatest information on that, compare models, and really start to give you my opinions on what I think is going to happen. The second part of this video, we're going to talk about a dynamic storm system that's really starting to have some agreement in general that there's going to be some kind of storm system about 6 to 7 days out from today. So this will be for the middle part to the latter part of next week. This could affect areas of the south central U.S., the Midwest in general, and then areas of the deep south with severe weather. This could have heavy snow with it and the chance for tornadoes. Now, I'm not saying there's a threat. I'm just saying there's a chance for severe weather. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. Appreciate you guys so much. Appreciate all the amazing support. If you guys want to stay up to date with the latest information, hit up my social media links over there. It's a great way to do so. If you guys got anything I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over them, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. So it's a great way to look out for one another here and glorify God. So let's get going here. So we're going to take a look at something that I know a lot of people don't understand, and I'm going to try to break it down to you because it's very important on understanding what is going on with this winter weather threat that has really confused a lot of people. But we can pretty much start to figure it out at this point. So what's going on here? We're getting into Saturday afternoon. This piece of energy right here, this bright orange and red, this is associated with the trough coming down. Now you see these colors down here? That is our energy in the Gulf of Mexico. We've been talking about this for a couple days now, and I won't stick on this very long, but what happens here is this energy helps to pull this out ahead. They don't really interact with each other. They don't phase, and therefore you don't get a big storm. You just kind of a strong out piece of energy. The Gulf energy gets into over the southeast, and you have a low pressure that tries to develop here. At the same time, you have a secondary piece of northern stream energy that kind of flies in here, and that's its own thing. So you almost got three different disturbances, if you will. First off, this system right here, this piece of energy right here, and then this piece of energy right here. Each do their own thing. This one brings some rain to areas of Florida. This one brings some snow for areas in the mid-Atlantic, and this one brings some backside snow showers for maybe areas as far south as the Carolinas. And we'll talk about that, and I'll show you what you mean here in a second. So let's look at the GFS and really show you guys what we're seeing here. We're getting into tomorrow morning. We're getting into Saturday morning. And then this is when you watch for a little bit of moisture to start to develop in the mid-south, including areas like maybe Louisiana. Now, I know this isn't really showing up very well, but there's a chance that this could overperform in areas. And with cold air ushering in, wouldn't be surprised if areas Saturday morning and the Saturday afternoon see some snow showers and rain showers in Tennessee and the mid-south. Check out Arkansas, a little bit of snow showing up there. And then the energy kind of transfers, if you will. And this is that first piece of energy from the upper trough pulling down. This is the Gulf moisture, which is really tries to pop off a low pressure off the Carolinas as you're getting into Sunday morning. At the same time, these two pieces of energy are starting to interact together. They definitely do not phase together, or you have a much bigger system, but they start to interact with each other. Maybe enhances the snow a little bit for Virginia, the Delmarva area, as you're getting into your Sunday morning, your Super Bowl Sunday. And yeah, a little bit of snow showing up for the southern Appalachian Mountains in North Carolina, maybe Tennessee. It just doesn't look like a big event. And in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be a big event. I really think this will be a light to moderate snow, but for Sunday afternoon, which is really not a favorable time period for the Carolinas as far as temperature-wise, you're getting to the warmer part of the day. Maybe some rain and snow showers, maybe enough to coat the ground for even areas of the Piedmont, North Carolina, the Triangle, brain farting the regions over here, but the triad of North Carolina, the foothills of North Carolina is what I was trying to say, and then areas of Virginia. And you keep this going here, this begins to get to the coast, and you get into Sunday evening and maybe some rain and snow showers based off the GFS. But then you check out this piece of energy that swings in behind it really quick as you're getting into overnight Sunday into Monday morning. This would have some more cold air with it as high pressure is settled in and the cold front has moved through, and you have more favorable temperatures about a mile above our surface, which would support more cold air at all levels of the surface. So therefore, you have some snow showers breaking out in Virginia and the mid-Atlantic, maybe into Charlotte. I wouldn't be surprised if this verifies. Maybe it tries to enhance itself. Areas of North Carolina, maybe the PD of South Carolina, waking up to some snow showers for your Monday morning. There's a big question mark on that. But the GFS has really started to show that. Take a look at the European and what this is showing as far as this storm system. And we're going through here in time. We're going to get that system out the way. And here it goes. The European has been extremely consistent when making this a light event. But at the same time, it does show a band of light to moderate snow for Sunday morning for areas of the triad of North Carolina, the foothills, the mountains in general, and then areas of central Virginia into Washington, D.C., a band of snow, maybe dropping a few inches of snow into the Delmarva area, and then southern New Jersey. We'll have to see how heavy that snow is. I don't think it's going to be a major event at all. In fact, I don't even think it's going to be close to a major event. Light to moderate event with just a few inches of snow is the max I think we're going to see with that system for now. But this might end Sunday evening as some light snow for southeast Virginia, northeast North Carolina. Then we watch this disturbance right here, which is now showing up on the European model with some light snow showers breaking out past the mountains. And I think this is going to be a nice northwest flow for maybe areas of the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee and Virginia that might dump a few inches of snow in the highest elevations. You take a look at the NAM, which doesn't have much of my respect anymore, but we'll take a look at it because it shows a different scenario. It likes the low pressure, and it likes the northern stream and the southern stream, this upper trough energy combining with this low pressure off the coast of the southeast. Therefore, you have a little bit more snow breaking out in southern New England in the I-95 corridor into New York City and Long Island. So if you're a snow fan, you're definitely pulling for the NAM. But I just don't know about it. But look at this, we're getting into late Sunday night into Sunday evening basically, and you have an area of snow. Almost all models are starting to show this in eastern North Carolina. You got to watch out here. This might drop a dusting of snow, maybe or just light snow in general. Then this is as far out as it goes, but you can tell there's a little bit of energy here about to pivot through as you get into your Sunday morning. So what does the latest GFS shows? Well, hasn't changed much. Maybe a couple inches, a few inches for Virginia. This might get into North Carolina. We'll have to see. Maryland, coastal areas of Maryland, a couple inches. This just hasn't changed a whole lot. It really hasn't. Far northern areas, southern areas of New Jersey, maybe a couple inches of snow. And then there's flirting with the idea of maybe a little accumulating snow even into the Piedmont, North Carolina, and upstate of South Carolina. We'll have to see how that works out. European has enhanced snow a little bit, especially if you're in central to west central areas of Virginia, maybe a few inches of snow. Watch out Roanoke into places like that could see a couple inches of snow in surrounding areas. And then you see this little band of snow right here. That is the secondary northern stream or clipper that kind of pulls down here that might pop off some snow showers as we're getting into your Sunday, late Sunday night into Monday morning, really is what I mean. So this is a national blend of models. It likes the European a lot. In fact, it definitely is leaning towards the European in general. But this is a blend of models just showing maybe a trace to a dusting in areas of North Carolina, maybe a couple inches in Virginia. Not a big event. Not a big event at all, guys. It really doesn't look like one. This will be just kind of a good thing, a cool thing to look at, really. I really think. But we'll see. It might make a last-second trend. So we're going to start to flip over to talking about the severe weather threats. So what we got going on here is we got this system that's bringing the light snow to areas in the mid-Atlantic and places like that. That is basically the end of a pattern, and we're about to enter another pattern. So what happens here is we're getting into the weekend, getting into early next week. Here comes that cold front that shoots through, digs through, ridge builds into the central and eastern U.S. These orange areas, that is a ridge that's going to bring above average temperature. So it's going to get cold this weekend again. Seems like we always have cold weekends in the eastern U.S. And really the latter part of the weekend is really I'm talking about. It's early next week. I actually think Friday and Saturday would be a nice day for a lot of people in the eastern U.S. But what happens here is you have a bowling ball of an upper level low that kind of loses itself in the mainstream of energy, and it digs down here into the southwest, and it ejects itself into areas of the southwest and then into the Ohio Valley. This promotes a severe weather threat, and you have a clashing of air masses setting up here. This has all the looks of a severe weather threat. So what are we seeing? We're going to focus on the European here. This is what the European is showing so far. Now we're getting into the Wednesday afternoon time frame, And this is when the severe weather could start as soon as Wednesday evening for areas of Oklahoma, Texas. Now, I'm saying it could start. What I'm meaning to say is there's a potential for it starting here if the system comes together. But here it comes. You're getting into Thursday morning. This is next week. Dynamic system begins to unfold as this surface low begins to inject itself over into Oklahoma and Texas. On the north side of this, you have snow, where the cold air is digging down here. On this side of the storm, as we're getting into Thursday afternoon, you have warm, moist air, and basically a moist sector that surges all the way into the Mississippi Valley and Mid-South areas. So you have moist air right here. You have a clashing of air masses. You have probably surface temperatures that are pretty warm here, probably into the 60s and 70s. And you have a dynamic system that could really promote a severe weather event. Now, when you look at this, I like looking at Pivotal because it does a good job in the long range of showing basically clusters of storms. It does a good job showing the idea of where there's storms and there's snow. But we can't forget about the part of this storm that could really promote a big-time snow system if the European comes into friction. This could be a big snow storm for areas maybe stretching from the panhandle of Oklahoma to the Midwest, through areas maybe all the way into Chicago. It's going to be a dynamic system. I really think this is. But severe weather continues on per the latest Euro all the way into the deep south. And this is just something we have to watch here. What I want to take a look at here is dew points. This is huge, guys. It really gives us an idea of where the most moist air is and where a moist sector is. These are dew points. So remember, dew points into the 60s and 70s, that's pretty humid. And that is one thermodynamic, it's one ingredient to getting a severe weather outbreak or a tornado outbreak. And check out this warm, moist air that surges out the Gulf of Mexico. And this is in response to that upper level low that pulls this moist air out the Gulf of Mexico and provides a much needed ingredient for severe weather. So we're getting into, when is this? This is Thursday afternoon. Look at these dew points per the latest European, rising to the 60s and almost 70s into Louisiana, Mississippi. And this provides a pretty unstable air mass that would promote severe weather. I mean, look at that. That is some humid air for February standards. Remember, we're still in February. We're not in March. There's not going to be a lot of CAPE with this, but we'll see how this trends. But a lot of times you don't need a lot of CAPE, especially when you have other ingredients that are favorable. But this is some CAPE values pretty close to the 500 to 1,000 joules per kilogram range. If you mix that in with this, which is the 850s, which is what we call a low-level jet, 850 millibars is about a mile above our heads. So you have a favorable upper wind pattern here that promotes a spin to the atmosphere. And I'm trying to get it's one thing I don't like about Pivotal. It's pretty annoying to use with the icons and getting this into motion. And I still have not got it. All right, here we go. So moving forward here, this is our low-level jet. And let's go on and just fast forward to Thursday afternoon. This is a stout low-level jet. Here's your surface low right here that's starting to move across the central U.S. into the Ohio Valley. And with it to its east brings that moist air and brings that high-profile winds just above the surface, about 4,000 to 5,000 feet up in the air. You have winds screaming at about 50 to 60 knots. This will be a stout low-level jet if the Euro is correct. So you have winds moving in one direction, right? So when I say low-level jet, that's when you look up in the sky on a warm, moist morning and the clouds are just racing what seems like 100 miles an hour just above your head, and you're wondering, why are the clouds moving that fast? Normally, not always. A lot of times that means you're probably going to have some kind of basically nasty weather that day. Whether that's just some storms, whether it's an outbreak of storms, you know, who knows for that certain circumstance. But that's one thing with a low-level jet that you got to watch here. So, sorry guys, my little girl busted in the room while making the video. But this is what you got here. It's a pretty... If you're looking at this would be a pretty stout setup for tornadoes for the deep south and areas of the south central U.S. with this low-level jet flying ahead. And then above the low-level jet, basically you have the mid-levels, which could be moving in a different direction. And when they're moving in two different directions, that causes a spin in the atmosphere. Think of winds going like this and then winds going like this above it. It creates a spin in the atmosphere. Therefore, spin in the atmosphere would cause rotating thunderstorms, which are supercells, which could drop a tornado at any given time. So We have to watch this. The Storm Prediction Center does not mention anything yet. So it just says potential too low, which that doesn't mean there's no potential. It says predictability is just too low. So they're not going to drop that 15% risk unless they have some pretty high confidence there's going to be some kind of weather maker here. And they probably need at least 24 to 48 hours of consistent runs to really show something. But that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. About to enter that severe weather season. I'll admit that is something that I'm not saying I don't know the least about, but it's something that my knowledge, I really want to definitely gain a lot more knowledge on. And I'm looking forward to doing that this severe weather season and sharing that with all you guys. So thank y'all for tuning in. God bless everybody. Stay safe, and y'all have a good evening.